Hey everybody, it's Jason Blah here. Now that my two obligatory informative videos are done for the day, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And multiple of my subscribers awared me about Alpha M's video and asked me to cover it. So you guys ask and you shall receive. Let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing. Work on skilling up my crafting a little bit and let's talk about this. And yes, I'm doing this video pants off because I squat. I actually squat. Therefore, I can get away with that. Now, on to Alpha M. On to Alpha M. Now, the funny thing is, I'm going to go in pretty hard, but I'm going to keep the ad hominem attacks to a minimum. And I actually partially agree with his list. I'm going to bash a lot of it because he's being a snake oil salesman, but his list isn't completely terrible. But the thing is, I want to point out, ask you guys a question. You guys just looking at me right now, none of you have ever seen me shredded, right? So even though I know a lot about physiology, I know a lot about sports science, I know a lot about training programming, would I be the first person you would come to? I'm just going to talk to his fans out there, Alpha M's fans. Am I the first person you would come to if your goal was to get shredded to the bone? Probably not. So why would you go to a guy who just admitted he weighs 149 pounds if your goal was to gain muscle? Particularly to maximize muscle gains. Furthermore, if you're going to spend $1,000 a year on supplements with the intended purpose of maximizing muscle gains, I wouldn't take advice from a guy who weighs 149 on what he uses, because he's clearly not maximizing his muscle gains. Now, a lot of people are going to say, but Jason, I follow Alpha M because I just want a certain shredded look. Well, in other words, you're not interested in maximizing muscle gain, strength, anything else, right? So therefore, why would you spend $1,000 or more a year on supplements trying to maximize muscle gains when you're not trying to maximize muscle gains? You'd be happy with 20% of your possible muscle gains, right? You'd be happy with that if that's your goal, because he's nowhere near his potential. I could get that guy a lot bigger in a year without any supplements. Just throwing that out there. So why would you listen to this? It's insane that he's giving advice on maximizing muscle mass when he hasn't maximized his muscle mass. Now, guy gets lean. But, you know, here's the thing. I also thought was funny he threw in there, oh, I use CLA. CLA has not been found in the research to be useful for fat loss. It's not even a good supplement. He's getting lean because he's doing a bunch of fasted cardio and eating a clean diet and training. That's usually works pretty good. Yeah, bro, diet cardio is a magical fat burner. Absolutely. And for people who respond to it well, intermittent fasting and fasted cardio, yeah, that's a pretty decent fat burner. It works better than anything you're going to buy in the store. That's how he's losing fat. It's nothing to do with selling products. Those products help. Now, if you want to lose a little body fat, he might be a good source of information. If you want to figure out the proper way to pluck and wax your eyebrows, maybe you're a chick, I don't know, then he'd be a good source of information. If you want to figure out how to match your cufflinks to your earrings and the exact sort of shoes you need to match to your belt, he might be your go-to guy. He probably gives pretty good advice on that stuff. But he doesn't know how to gain muscle. He does not know how to gain muscle. Not by a long shot. Now, his 5 supplements, let's go ahead and discuss what they are. The first one actually wasn't a bad choice. Now, his reasons for it were bad, but he's like, Whey Protein, single most valuable muscle gaining supplement. You know what? Maybe. I mean, if there is any supplement in existence that would help you gain muscle, that is probably one of the few that would do it. If you needed more protein in your diet. Some people don't have time to cook. Whey protein can be a convenience item. It can be a convenience item. Is it necessary? Is it any better than consuming a chicken breast or Greek yogurt or steak for protein? Not one drop. It will not put a single ounce of muscle on you more than those whole foods will. But it's a convenience item. I understand that. And I'll go so far as to say the brand he chose is probably one of the most reputable brands out there. If I do buy protein shakes, and I do on occasion keep some around, I have been known to, that's actually the brand I use. The reason for that is that the industry isn't very well regulated. There's a lot of dangerous and garbage supplements. Consumer Reports has always given Optimal Nutrition good reviews. Yeah, I'll agree with that. They have found that it has safe levels of lead and arsenic in it, which a lot of big companies don't. And they found that their labeling is pretty accurate. So it's actually a pretty good product. And that's actually my preferred brand. But here's the thing, guys. Why would you go to bodybuilding.com? They're a big snake oil salesman company. They're going to overcharge you for it anyways. Don't go to bodybuilding.com. Go to Amazon if you're going to buy it. In fact, Amazon runs sales sometimes on the big bags of Optimal Nutrition. In fact, I got an Amazon affiliate link if you want to check it out. It's in my About tab. Go over there, check it out. I got a link. They sometimes run those big 5-pound bags for half the price at bodybuilding.com does. So you buy it once a year and you've got it sitting there for emergencies when you're too busy to eat enough protein or cook. All right. Or your refrigerator's out, power's out, and you have no way to keep Greek yogurt around or skim milk or anything. All right. You need it in emergencies. I understand that. It happens. But it's a convenience item. It's not special. But, his brand's decent. The thing is, though, he was saying, oh, well, you need it post-workout. No, actually, you don't. You actually don't need to consume a protein shake post-workout. That's myth based upon science that has been debunked. Even guys like Alan Aragon, who has an advanced degree in nutritional sciences, right? He's even pointed that out, and he makes money selling protein. He's even involved in the supplement industry, right? He even says actually it's not really true that you need it post-workout. Those studies are just on fasted people. In other words, if you lift weights fasted, and you fasted for 16 hours, and then you train fasted, you don't eat any protein before you train, protein shakes do seem to help. But they don't give you more benefits, they just help cancel some of the negatives of training fasted. But yeah, people do gain more muscle if they train fasted, overnight fast, and get up and lift weights if they take a protein shake immediately after. But you don't use that much protein to build muscle. People forget that. It's like, you need all these amino acids immediately. Actually, you probably are only going to use a gram or two of protein every day towards building muscle that you eat. That scoop's got like 25 grams in it. That's way more. That's like a week's worth of muscle growth, if not more. You don't gain muscle that fast, guys. You don't. It doesn't work that way. But he goes on to his next one. He's all fish oil. You know what? I think fish oil is not a bad idea. Fish oil has some health benefits. Hell, I use a little fish oil every now and then for health benefits. It doesn't boost muscle gains. We don't have data on that. He's saying, well, it might improve muscle protein synthesis. No, not really. We don't have good data to support that. We just don't. Doesn't seem to enhance recovery noticeably after training. Doesn't seem to actually have a muscle growth stimulus. It doesn't improve muscle protein synthesis when we've looked closer at the studies, but it can help with overall health. It can help with your health. Like you said, it might be good for your skin, your hair, brain function. Those aren't bad things. That's something that can be useful for health if you don't get enough omega-3s in your diet, depending upon what your diet looks like. Not everyone benefits from a fish oil supplement. It comes down to, are you deficient? Just like a whey protein shake. How much protein are you eating? If you eat enough protein from whole foods, you're probably not going to see a benefit from it. It might help you lose fat because it fills you up a little bit. All right, higher protein intake can be useful for fat loss, not necessarily muscle gain. Same we get over to the fish oil. If your diet's deficient in omega-3s, fish oil supplements can help. But you're not going to gain muscle from it. Next one is creatine, the most studied supplement. One of the few supplements that has ever been found to help with muscle gains. Problem, it doesn't work for everyone. What? It comes back to your diet again. Are you deficient in creatine? And what they found is that a third of the population in America are non-responders to creatine. Incidentally, do you know what that third all seem to have in common? They all eat red meat. The people who eat red meat 2 or 3 times a week don't seem to respond to creatine because they get enough in their diet to get the job done. Now, for people who don't get enough in their diet, it does seem to help a little bit. It comes down to the composition of your diet. If you're a vegetarian or a vegan, yeah, I would probably say supplement creatine. Probably be a real good idea. But, I could also say you could supplement your diet with meat. That would be a good idea, too. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. Planting seeds. Maybe they'll take root. Next one, beta-alanine. He covers beta-alanine. No, it doesn't seem to do much in the studies either. Some of the early preliminary studies showed it was pretty good. It doesn't really do much of anything. Again, he's like, well, you stack it with the creatine. Well, you know, it kind of comes back to, do you need the creatine or not? What's your diet look like? What's your diet look like? For me, I never saw creatine do anything, but I also am a meat eater. Never done anything. I'm a non-responder, again, due to my diet. Beta-alanine, but back to that, no, it doesn't seem to be useful. So now he's getting over into full snake oil mode at that point. Not a valuable muscle building supplement. Man, I mean, this guy's taking 5 different muscle building supplements. Why does he weigh 149? It's as if the supplements aren't helping him build muscle. And then the last one, glutamine. You know, the argument people make for glutamine, well, they prescribe it in hospitals. Therefore, it must be useful. Yeah, it's useful after surgery. You know what type of surgery? Any sort of surgery on your intestines or your colon. Do you know why? Because oral glutamine doesn't make it to your bloodstream. What? It's a non-essential amino acid. If you go back to the other point, do you get enough protein in your diet? You get enough protein in your diet? You eat 150 grams of protein a day? 200, whatever. You're eating enough protein in your diet, your body will replenish its own glutamine. Consuming glutamine will not replenish your glutamine. Why? Because your intestinal lining absorb and use all of it for fuel. They also use it for repair. What they found is that supplementing glutamine will dramatically speed up the rate at which you recover from surgeries on your gastrointestinal tract in general. You know, intestines, colon, all that, right? It helps a lot. So much so that it is prescribed in hospitals after all those sorts of surgeries. Or any sort of injury to that area, you know. I mean, a lot of things happen. Those things get punctured, knife wounds, gunshots, car wrecks, you know. These things happen. You know, and those areas can be helped by that dramatically, but it doesn't help your muscles. It doesn't reach your muscles. Supplementing glutamine does absolutely nothing for muscle growth. But, you know, again, if you had a surgery on your intestines, it has amazing benefits, but you don't need to go to the store to buy that. They have pharmaceutical grade they give you in the hospital. They'll take care of that for you. You don't have to worry about it. It's already handled. That's your doctor's job. So again, when he started off somewhat okay, misunderstanding a little bit, then we get into this other stuff, and he's just pushing snake oil. Just pushing snake oil for a profit. You know what though, guys? You want to maximize muscle growth. Here's what you do. Get under a heavy barbell. Follow a proper progressive overload program. If you're a novice, that means a linear progression program based primarily around big compound movements. Work on getting stronger on all your big compound movements. Get plenty of quality food, plenty of quality protein, carbs, fat in. Eat your fruits and vegetables. Get lots of sleep. You'll grow. You've got the whole stimulate, recovery, adaptation cycle. Kind of the basis of all exercise science. So again, you got to stimulate, you recover, and you adapt. That's facilitated by progressive overload in the gym. Fuel, to fuel your workouts, to fuel your recovery. Protein, the building blocks of your muscle tissue, which again doesn't matter where you get it from. Amino acids are amino acids. And sleep and rest in which you grow. That's how you maximize muscle growth. And you maximize it by optimizing all of those things. That's how you get as big as possible. Proper program in which you hit ideal workloads, that you progress in your strength levels as quickly as your body will adapt. Adequate training fuel and recovery fuel, quality sleep. That's how you maximize muscle growth. That is how you get muscle, not throwing away $1,000 a year on a bunch of pills and powders that arguably in many cases are not going to do anything. In some cases they might help a little bit. Talking a few percent. Assuming the other stuff is in check. But for most of you, adding an extra set of barbell squats every week will probably put more muscle on you than all these supplements will. It'll probably do more. But that's how you get there, not all these products. That's how it's done. These products add a little bit in some cases. In other cases, they're not going to do anything. All depends upon the composition of your diet and what your life looks like. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. I will talk to you guys next time.